Right, so this is how to generate the template one of the hospital bill. So once you are logged in, you head to the menu button, then you click on the document generator, then you choose your hospital bill, you click on the drop down and select template one. Right, now when you do that, you will see a preview of the template one, so meaning this is how your final output is going to look like. Right, so this is just like a guide for you to know where each field goes. Right, now then again, as you can see, I have this in a landscape mode or a desktop view, so you can see the fields are on the left side and then the preview is on the right side. Right, but in mobile view, we are going to get something like this. Right, in mobile view we are going to get something like this, meaning the preview is going to be below, so meaning you have to be going up and down to get a preview to know what you are doing. So I would recommend you use PC or an iPad to get a desktop view so that you don't have to be going back and forth. So let's start. So first of all, what you do is click on hospital name. So let's go with something like right, now the address one, you can go with something like right, you can use a lowercase, it doesn't really matter. Then the address 2 will be like maybe the city, then the state, which is say New York, right? Then the zip. All this info are not real, they are just for the template. So hospital website or email goes to the top corner here, and I think it goes somewhere below as well. Okay, I think it only goes to the top, so you can choose email or website, it doesn't really matter. Right, now the patient's name, let's say all these are just made up names, right? So for the patient's address, just like the hospital address, we do the same. So we can say something like right, then also the city, so let's say, then the state and the zip. Right, now the patient ID should be a maximum of 6 characters, so the patient ID goes somewhere here, as you can see. So now you can't type more than 5 characters, that's more than 6, right? So you can just whatever. As you can see, when you type, it doesn't go again, so meaning you only have 6 characters. Now the date, the format is DDMMYY, which means the day, say today's date, right, which is 14th. Then the month, you can just continue typing into auto format automatically. So 14 July 7 2026. Alright, then the PO box, you can just put whatever. Whatever fits your requirements, you put them there. Now the payment reference goes here, this very long number. Now you can choose whatever you like, so I'll go with whatever. Then the service date. Now the service date is the date the services were rendered to the patient, so this is the date which is going to go here. So you can do your own calculations and then figure out what date goes where. Right, you need to plan how you want your document to look like, how you want your bill to look like. So you have to do all those planning before you input, because once you've done a mistake, you will be deducted, and then you later find out you have a mistake, you have to repay for a new generation. So you can just use the same date, since this is just a tutorial. But when you are doing yours, you need to plan and use a correct date which fits the purpose of your generation. So once I'm done, I just hit next. Right, now you can see there is a new page. Okay, I forgot one more thing. Now the due payment date goes here. Yeah, due payment dates, meaning the date that you are due for payment of the bill. Right, so we go next. Now the invoice number, also 9 characters maximum, it goes here, invoice number. Right, so I'll just go with, now that's it. Now the visit number also goes here, 7 characters max. Alright then, now the patient's name, we can just go with something like and choose whatever name that fits your purpose. The insurance date. Now, insurance date is if the patient has an insurance which will cover part of the bill, you put a date where they made the payment. So I'll just use same dates over here. Then the first service. What was the first service that was rendered? So as you can see, there are placeholders in place that will also guide you. You can also look at the preview to see what goes where. So here you have 3 fields which you can fill. First one is compulsory. The last 2 are not. You can choose to leave them depending on how many services you wish to put in a bill. Currently, this implementation has 1 field which is compulsory. So let's say you had an X-ray service. You can write whatever you want, right? Now, how much was charged? Now, in this field, you need to be very careful with the writing of the amount, because whatever you type in here is what's going to be printed on your documents. So this is the right format. First, you put in your currency. You can put in whatever currency you like, but it needs to appear. So I'll just go with dollars. Then, how much was charged for the X-ray? So say 2,000. Make sure you put it in this way. Sorry. Right. This is the format. You need to put it this way, because if you do a mistake and then you write it something like this without a comma, this is exactly how it's going to be printed. If you don't mind, you can put it that way, but then correct, because since the field has no validation or no correcting of the amount and all those stuff, you need to be very careful and do it on your own. So you put it this way, right? Then you can choose to leave it that way without writing any service 2 or service 3. If the patient had only 1 services or 1 service rendered, you leave it that way. But if you choose to go more, you can add another one. So maybe there was an eye test done and they've been charged 1,000. So same format, right? Now you can choose to leave the 3rd one, you can choose to add it. Then the insurance name. Remember, we put an insurance date, so we need to put the name of the insurance. So just keep it short. And then how much was did the insurance pay? So let's say the insurance paid 500. So again, pay very good attention to the amount, because when you do a mistake, it's going to be outputted on your final document. So now I think we are done. Next, you don't have to fill anything, right? This auto calculated and then printed on your document for you. So now what this means is that service 1 charges plus service 2 charges plus service 3 charges, if you add it, will total up to the total service amount, right? So meaning if you add service 1, service 2, service 3, the total amount is what is going to be auto calculated and displayed here. So now, as you can see, now insurance is 500 cedis. So what it means is that the patient was charged the addition of all the services, and then the insurance paid. We all know what insurance means, right? So insurance paid 500 out of it. So in our case, we only filled service 1 and service 2. So 2,000 plus 1,000, which is 3,000, minus the insurance 500, which is our 2,005, which is displayed here. So if we were to add service 1, service 2, service 3, say service 1 2,000, service 2,000, service 3,000, our total will be 4,000 written here, and then minus, if insurance were to be 500, then the total amount will now be 3,500, right? So now that's that. Now the image, you can see we have a logo here, which we would also have to add. Now you need to choose a very good image with a very nice dimension, just as is displayed in the preview, meaning you have to have an image with a landscape kind of dimension, a very small one, right? Or else your image that will be printed on your document will be some kind of way which will not be nice. So with an image like this, you can see that it has taken the full length of the image upload box, right? So this kind of dimension is very good, right? So I think we are done to look like. So now we can go ahead and generate. Right, so you can go ahead and download straight forward, or you can go to the history, and then there's view. That's how you can view directly, right? Or you can also just download straight from. Now what you have to know is that the history takes 7 days to auto delete, so you make sure you download all your generated documents before you lose them, right? So yeah, now as you can see, everything is in place correctly. You can see the amount printed correctly, everything is in place. Now I will suggest you don't use a hospital name that's too long, very simple one. Same for the insurance name, not too long, just a very simple name. Yeah, just keep everything simple. If you want a very clean output like I did here, just follow the steps and then you'll get everything right. So this is one of my text generations. As you can see, as I used an image that is not the right dimension, you can see that the image is trying to stretch to fit the space above. So that is why it is recommend you use an image that fits the full upload box neatly, so that when you generate, it fits the space correctly. So yeah, you take note of that also.